this works. Well, there we go. It worked. I figured out how to go live by having the intro start. So, yay. And Sam just took off, but he'll be back.
Hey, yeah, he's having technical difficulties.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll work through it. I'll start over again. Hey, folks, this is Shane. Thanks for taking the time to join this little live stream. With me right now are the Shacking Off brothers, Norm and Greg, and our buddy Sam will probably pop back in a few minutes. Tonight, we actually have a topic. We're going to go over protecting your radios, your amateur radio gear, your comms gear in the field. Different methods for different applications and budgets and all that kind of stuff. So, while we wait for Sam to come back in, how's everybody doing? I'll start with the guy, that way to me. Greg, how you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, anytime. Anything new?
Nope. Same old.
All right. How about you, Norm?
Not much. Doing good. Been messing with some weather satellite stuff recently.
Yeah, I saw that. You mentioned that backstage that you got some cool stuff going. So maybe we'll do a stream on that, let you take the reins and show us how to get cool weather app stuff on your phone and computer and ham clock and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I could definitely put together a little presentation.
Sure.
We could even pull out the Raspberry Pis and act like we're on TO's channel.
Sure. Yeah. All right. I'll take the role of Jim, who will just be frustrated at everything, and you guys do everything else.
Yeah, I'll be Steve because I'm skinny.
All of us, you are, well, we're neck and neck. Derek's checking in. He might be joining us, but he might not. Who knows? Of course, Norm's here.
Yeah.
We have KD9MUH. Hey, KD9MUH. Thank you for joining us.
That's Danny boy.
Oh, yeah. I should have figured that because of the very closeness to your KD9MUG. You two took the test at the same time, like two good brothers do.
Yep. Figure out who finished first.
Yep. Shalom, Douglas V. Thanks for joining us. He already left a few comments saying that he's kicking around the idea of buying another 891 to keep in Traxius. I'm assuming that's either a typo and he meant Texas, or Traxius is some type of like a cage or rail. Either way, a second 891 is never a bad idea. I absolutely think that radio is great. All right, keeping in Texas. Thanks, Douglas, for the quick update. Makes sense to me. And Derek will probably join us in a little while, but we'll add them in as we go along. Again, this is just like a monthly live stream that we do. More focused on the preparedness angle, emergency comms, portable radio side of things. And targeted more, not necessarily to hams like us, but the ham curious, people who are interested in ham radio as a means of emergency comms, and we're trying to be a good welcoming place to join our community. Andy is joining us. Hey, brother Andy, good to see you. Unfortunately, I've been so busy with work and life, I have been out of the normal ham radio YouTube live stream circuit. Andy's always a regular on live streams and premieres and a great ambassador of the hobby. He's always friendly and nice, and I'm so glad you joined us tonight, Andy. Thank you for sticking around. So, as I was saying, our topics are usually more preparedness minded, field ops type of stuff. So, I do have a whole list of ideas to go over, and this one popped up, and I thought it'd be a good one to discuss, and it is rig protection. Just making sure I spelled everything right because I literally put this presentation together about within an hour or so. Let my ham radio hobbies be just like work. I do all my prep work for presentations and meetings at the last minute. Norm giggles because Norm gets it.
Yeah.
I thought he was giggling over rig protection.
Yeah. Oh, if I had the production things, I'd be dropping the video clip from The Ringer where the guy goes, "Definitely use protection." Remember that movie of Johnny Knoxville from many years ago when he pretended to be mentally challenged for a scam? But
yeah,
it's one of my top 10 favorites.
Oh yeah, already derailed, but that's fine. The funny thing for me with cinema is the PG-13 rating, where for some reason you can drop the F-bomb once, but only once in a PG-13 rated movie. Because apparently a 13-year-old will not pick up the F-bomb if he only hears it once. If he hears it twice, then it's going to ruin him. But that movie has the best use ever of the one-time F-bomb in the movie. And it's the "When the F did we get ice cream?" That I say that line at work all the time when I get frustrated on something. I'll just shout out, "When the F did we get ice cream?" And people look at me like I'm like I'm me.
Yeah, not to stay off topic, but my favorite part's when he says, "You scratched my CD in broad daylight."
Yeah. Oh, that was such a great. I'm gonna have to fire that thing up. I got that on DVD in the other room. That's a great one. All right. Enough clubhousing around. Let's get to the point. Rig protection. There's lots of options for different applications and budgets. I'm going to go through a few different ways to protect your rig in the field. And what I mean by applications, and what it's all, it depends on what exactly you're going to be doing. Are you like a lot of us and only take your radios out for field day, maybe an occasional parks on the air activation where you just casually pull up to a nice picnic area and put your gear up on a picnic table, to the other extremes where you're like YouTubers like Julian from Survival Tech Nord, who's out in the wintertime above the Arctic Circle, or Gaston from Tech Prepper, who's out in the Sierra Desert in Arizona. What level of radio use are you going to be doing or possibly be doing can have an impact on how much you want to go into your radio protection. Also, your budget pays a factor. A lot of the stuff obviously ain't cheap. So keep that in mind. So first off, nothing. You don't need to do anything for many applications. Amateur radios are, generally speaking, built pretty tough. They're not very delicate, precise lab equipment that's, highly calibrated and fragile. These things can take a beating. So, again, if you're maybe grab a radio and go out for field day and you sit up on a picnic table and spend most of your time socializing, which is always a good time. Maybe you don't even need anything. Just unplug your rig from your shack and put it in the back seat of your car or truck, and you'd be good to go. But we always want to protect our things in the field because, sorry.
Now, going back on this point, if you think about it, most almost every radio is designed to be put into a mobile environment, even like the ICOM 7300, a huge base station rig. And especially your ICOM 705 right there is more of a mobile radio. So if they can survive, think of the vibrations, the cold, the heat that the automotive environment sees, and think about what you're subjecting it to, it just moving it out to the field.
Mm-hmm.
You can great point. Hey, these radios can stand a lot.
Yeah. I mean, they're built pretty well. As long as you're not getting crazy, you'd be fine. But let's face it, we these things are expensive, and you want to even avoid getting scratches and dents on them. Mm-hmm. And the basic thing, which I've done personally, and I'll show you a picture that might show it, but it can, as careful as you can be, accidents happen. You have the radio set up on the picnic table. You walk behind it, step on the coax, or an antenna, like you have a DX commander, the antenna mast falls down or something, and the coax yanks it, and your radio can go flying off the table and onto the ground or cement floor. Ask Texas Shane from Ham Radio Crash Course and this side of the radio. He can contest to how that can happen.
Did you really have to call him out?
Everybody calls him out on that. It's like when you bring up Shane, you gotta bring up him dropping the 7300.
That is right.
And Ham Radio Clubhouse, not Crash Course.
Did I say Crash Course?
Yes, you did.
Well, everybody knows how to speak my language. They know I say things that mean something else. But also to your point, Norm, I was gonna say, like, a lot of your desktop radios, like I have an old Kenwood TS 570S. I don't have my heaters on, and even my 891 or my 991, they come with a handle on the side, meaning that they're able to be carried out into the field. So a lot of your desktop radios are meant to be carried out. So there you go. So if you're on a budget and you're not going to be a serious user, just leave it the way it is and have a care and be careful with it. Next, I have soft bags and your general backpacks. And here are the three options that I have. And they're kind of the three categories that I see quite often. Hey, Electromagnetic Mischief. Thanks for checking us out. Glad to see you in the chat, bud. A lot of people will gear towards the one that I have here on the far right, and I'm circling it with my mouse, which I don't know why, because you're not going to see it on the live stream. But you go with the military style rucksacks, right? With the tactical colors and the PALS Molly webbing and everything like that. Overall, these are a pretty good choice for keeping your stuff squared away. This pack in particular is mine that I use to store a lot of my portable radio kit in. Just as a one location to keep it all in. I have a couple antenna bags in here, a small battery. A lot of times my 891 is in here. I keep that set up as a good place to store everything, and also as a great grab bag for a spur of the moment parks on the air or what have you. The nice thing about the military style rucksacks is they're built pretty darn tough. They have the thick material, very rugged. A lot of times they have some padding inside that makes things nice. And one of the nicer things I like is they're usually in a square construction. And again, I'm going around it with my mouse, which I don't know why, because you can't see it. So with the square cubic construction of these things, it makes it a lot easier to pack it into your vehicle, playing 3D Tetris. And it's more ample space to store things. The downside with these is if you're going to be hiking in a ways, they are heavy, and in the shape of them, you'll get hot spots and all. But overall, that's a good option. On the opposite side of this picture in the spectrum is just your standard hiking backpack. Right there, I have a day pack from Osprey. Uh, Not a whole lot of protection to them, but it's still enough to keep everything from getting scratched and dent in transit and stuff. And that pack in particular, I have my Yaesu 891 that fits in that, and I use this pack quite often for some that's on the air activations and parks on the air activations. And then in the center, I have my ICOM 705 and the pack that ICOM has for it. What that pack basically is a camera backpack or a camera case if you're into photography. Uh, Semi-soft, semi-rigid construction, lots of padding in it, and lots of dividers and stuff with nice padding on the inside. Yeah, you can buy the ICOM bag, but a lot of camera bags, like from your camera manufacturers like Nikon and Canon and what have you, and the third market stuff, a good camera bag would be a good option as well. I'll take a break and let somebody else talk if they have anything.
Nope. Go ahead.
Oh,
No,
come on,
Electromag
Greg.
Mischief says he uses his laptop bag, and
Yep.
that's what I use a lot of times. Got mine right here.
Yep, absolutely.
And so you've got your little in the back, your padded
Hang on there,
for your
Norm.
laptop, and that's more than plenty for a radio if you're not beating it up.
Yep.
Carry it out a couple a short distance in the field and come back. So
yeah, and a lot of us
are a good choice.
Yep, absolutely. A lot of us office dwellers, we get those around. They're a handy bag. They're durable. The construction of the bag, they're normally Cadora nylon, so they're very similar to the military style rucksack, like this 511 bag I have here, which is my third favorite nylon web gear company. But yeah, for sure. And we got Ed in the house. Ed likes the small Tupperware style boxes to go into the bag for stuff like my key and such. And that is a great idea. Offers a lot of protection. They're lightweight. You got a bunch of them laying around the house anyways, just
waterproof.
Waterproof. Yeah. I mean, you can get them for free too. For you think you get a lot of like your lunch meat and stuff in the little Tupperware things. So, when you buy some, honey baked ham, when you finish that up, you got a nice little storage container for your keys, your connectors, your what have you. So great stuff, Ed, and thanks for joining us, Ed.
And I use the Molly 3-day packs.
Yep.
That has the laptop divider, like Norm was talking about, and it fits in a normal size portable radio. Fits in there well. Gives it a little bit of protection around the unit.
Show that up again, Greg. I was a little slow on my production skills.
Come on.
All right, so hitting the solo mood, I removed you. So one more time with feeling. Sorry, bud. All right.
The reason I just like these 3-day packs, it's big enough for your wire antenna, your connectors, coax, everything in one. I usually keep the battery separate.
Sure.
Just in the battery packs that we've built, but I can put it in there. It just weighs it down a little bit more.
Right.
And I'm not taking it in the field. It's just walking to my truck to the park bench or picnic table, wherever.
Sure. And then one side note and a message directly to Ed. Yes, Ed, I've relapsed into not doing anything with CW, and I'm going to break that very soon. I promise you. I will be back in your classes and the other Long Island CW classes very soon. If you're not familiar with Ed, he has a great YouTube channel focused on CW, and he's one of the fantastic instructors at the Long Island CW Club. And I feel really bad right now that I haven't seen Ed via Zoom for a very long time. So I will fix that very soon. All right, now that's all the way. Oh, geez, let me get caught up here in the comments. We got electromagnetic mischief. I managed to stuff a lot in it, referring to a Swiss bag. Yep. You can put a lot of stuff in those things. One thing to keep in mind when you pick out a backpack, this is like a backpacker's hack, is when you pick out a backpack, make sure you have it for the stuff that you want to carry and leave a little extra space. For the backpacker, it's because there might be a last minute thing that you pick up for a hike, or you want to shed it later and you want to have some space, or there's some trail trash, you want to be a good guy and pick it up and haul it out. But when you look at the gear you have in a pack and fit it to it, you might want to add a little more space. Back to backpacking, a lot of the rule of thumb is don't buy a pack that's too big because you will fill it up. But as ham guys, we bring more stuff than we want, so I kind of go off the opposite rule. Black Cat says, I use my laptop and clothes for quick travel aboard planes. Yeah, my office backpack has become pretty much my carry-on too. And Don noticed that I had the Domkey wraps, and I'll get to that. I'll catch up on the comments later. Yeah, the Domkey wraps, or any wrap in general, this kind of falls into what Ed brought up earlier, is having items inside your pack to add a layer of protection. I've used stuff sacks that were padded for radios before too, but a few other YouTubers brought this to my attention. I believe the first one was Tom Tango Oscar Mike had these Domkey wraps. I know our friend Mike N2NAK and Michael KB9VBR also highlight these things too. There's Tom right now. Hey, thanks, buddy. You are the one that introduced me to these things. These things are pretty slick. I got the one right here. Let me. They come in different sizes.
Is it Faraday material?
No, sorry. They have a smoother nylon surface on the inside and more of a felt type on the outside. And you can see they got. Let me quit looking at me and look at the camera. They got Velcro on the corners, so you can put whatever you want into it. Go back here, and as you can see, I got the one I just showed you for my 891 and a smaller one for a Android smartphone, and you just put them in there and wrap them up like a burrito, and they offer a good level of protection while you're in transit, and then when you're setting up, it leaves a good work area. Oftentimes when I'm doing like a summits on the air and there's nothing around, I just sit up on the ground. I will typically put something like this down to sit up on, so that way any connectors, a notepad, pens, pencils, whatever I have with me, stays out of the ground, stays clean or somewhat clean, but more importantly, in a place where I can see it and not likely forget it. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Tom. That would be a good idea to make it into make some Faraday material into it. I often do that with like a drop cloth, like another backpacking hack where you get like some house wrap Tavax and you slice it off. Laying something like that on the ground to keep all your small items, a Morse code key, again, connectors and whatnot. Keep them off the ground, keep them clean, and keep you from losing stuff. It's always a good idea.
Oh, so on those wraps, the Velcro just sticks anywhere on that felt fabric side.
Yep.
Okay, I was wondering how that worked. So you can pretty much wrap up anything of any size.
Yep. You can wrap it. It's pretty user friendly. And thank you, Black Cat. Right now we pretty much just do a monthly stream like this, but there'll be more content coming back on sooner or later. But thank you very much for checking us out. And after a while you think that we're nuts and you unsubscribe, I cannot blame you one bit.
We'll still be here.
So use protection on your rigs and wrap your rig.
Yep.
That's what we know.
Wrap it twice.
Yep. All right. What else? And then Ed he understands, and thanks for the shout out. Anytime. You got a great channel. All right. So yeah, the Domke wraps in particular, and I've learned these are popular in the photography world, which I know nothing about. I would recommend that there's other things in there. Yeah, that's a great idea. Just put you can probably get those little Faraday pouches that you could just put right over that or under that or either way. Double wrap it for your protection. That's not a bad idea. Yes, Black Cat, they are on Amazon, and once in my lifetime, I got things straightened out, and I have links in the description for the two that I have. The gray one is a 11-inch, and the yellow one is a 19-inch. They come in a wide variety of colors. I got the yellow, so it'd be bright and noticeable and less likely for me to lose. But if you want to be more clandestine, they got the grays and the blacks. I'm thinking about getting another one of these in black, so that way I can keep my 891 in the back seat of my truck, like down on the floor, and it would be less conspicuous. Oop. Oh, that's good. So yeah, wraps in general are a good idea. We can shoehorn in Ed's great idea of using Tupperware. I would doubt it. The 15 inches is all the way across the thing, so when you fold it in half, you're down to 7.5. So you would probably need a bigger one. But I think they have different options. I've never looked into it, but that's not a bad idea. But you gave me another idea. You see a lot of the neoprene sleeves for laptops to protect them and stuff. Something like that might be able to work for some of your gear, especially the laptop you bring out. Even some packing materials, like a roll of or a line of bubble wrap that you save from your next Amazon purchase to use.
This backpack's just full of packing peanuts. Those work well.
Yeah, let me embiggen myself. They're very thin. They're like maybe an 1/8 inch thick, probably a 1/16 of an inch thick. But there is some padding inside it, so it's, I don't know. Obviously, this doesn't come through the camera, but they don't offer a ton of protection, but they do offer a bit of protection. I think they're great. Yep. And that's a great comment, and I'll be getting to that a little further on here on about hard cases. Like all your options, there's not a perfect solution in my opinion. Everything has their pros and their cons, and one option's pros are also its cons for your applications. When you talk about just using something like this, it's lightweight, doesn't get in the way, but with that lightweightness and not getting in the way, it doesn't offer a ton of protection. Where you get a hard case, that thing's almost bomb-proof. It's super protective, but then it gets bulky and heavier and all that kind of stuff. So next we have rails. Rails are kind of a favorite thing for ham radio enthusiasts. If you see military rigs, a lot of them have the rails built into it. This one I have. I got a link to the website in the description below. It's a brand that I like. I have these on several. It's from a company called Portable Zero. These rails are aluminum and they're powder coated. You can get them in black, or you can be cool like me and get the olive drab so it get a little contrast. They mount right onto the existing holes on radios. They have them for a wide variety of different radios, makes manufacturers and everything. And as you can see, they don't add too much bulk to them, but what they do is basically protect this for drops and bumps. The rails come off to the side here, and as you can see, they extend past all the knobs and buttons. So if you drop it, you're less likely to break those said knobs and buttons. It extends off the back because there's a lot of ham radios. You have your antenna ports and everything. Don't worry about bringing that up. I saw that. I didn't want to side ride myself. I'll get back to it, I promise. And yes, this channel is about ham radios, all kinds of portable radio stuff. Ham radio, I do a little bit with Meshtastic, a little bit with GMRS, any comm stuff in the field. That's kind of my thing. And Frequency Frontiers is backing me up. Laptops are a big part of it as well.
Yep. I got the same rails on my 706. Just put that in the backpack. And this is just, for what you're talking about. If you trip over the coax and it comes off the table, whatever, chances are you're bumping it.
Yep.
As well.
Sorry.
The back.
Yeah, I just want to show the backside because my picture doesn't show it. But you can see here on Greg's radio, he's got your Molex connectors here for your power and everything. You got your coax connectors, and then also here in the center, you see the cooling fins. Heat sink, and that helps cool off your radio.
It is protecting. This is just an adapter, so it sticks past the rail, but typically it wouldn't.
Yes.
They also make it, where you could connect a strap to it and just carry it, the whole thing over your shoulder if you wanted to.
Yep.
And then the good thing about rails now.
And Derek's joined us. I just thought I'd throw you off. Thanks for hopping in, Derek. Appreciate it.
This went downhill now fast.
Oh, we've never been on a hill.
What's a hill?
We've never been up the hill to go downhill. We've always been in the valley, my friend. All right. Yeah. And so if you notice on the picture here on mine, if you look at and again, I'm pointing with my mouse so you can't see, but on the corner of the rail that's facing the camera, on both top corners, the front corner by the big knob, and then on the very back, you'll see some shiny. That shiny is because the power cord got bumped off, and it got bumped off because I've dropped this thing off a picnic table before. So this rail has most likely saved me from damaging that fairly expensive piece of hardware called the Yaesu 891. One of my, I think, I think, uh, I think people would be hard to argue it's one of the best portable ham radios for HF on the market today.
Yeah, and then with the rails also now, people are 3D printing them, and somebody sent me a set for my 7300, and they're not going to be as strong as those aluminum rails, but I think they'll still do the job just fine. So,
oh yeah,
I wouldn't be scared just to use the 3D printed ones now.
Yep, absolutely. And you brought up a point that when I was taking this picture, I wanted to make, and I forgot all about it. So thank you. I've seen people make 3D printed rails, and I've seen people complain about them going, what's the point if you drop the radio? That rail's just going to break, which is highly likely, but you got to look at it as a sacrificial part. Just like a shear pin in your snow blower or lawnmower or your farm implement.
Your friend you go hiking with.
Yeah. Exactly. Think of the 3D printed rail or anything else like that as a sacrificial part, just like the shear pin in your lawnmower. You hit something hard with the blades and the shear pin breaks, and it's very easy to replace, and it's very cheap. Versus if that shear pin's not there, now you screw up something in your drivetrain or transmission or something, which is not cheap and a pain to replace. So, yeah, all kinds of antennas. Black Cat, that may be a topic of discussion for one of these live streams. Different options for antennas in the field, and we might have a special guest right here that might, or a person here who might be a special guest for that. Our friend N9SAB. If you do a quick Google search for him and or look at his Etsy store, he sells some wonderful field antennas. And now everybody's talking about antennas. We'll go to that later. Let's
Well, now that since I got my pack here, here's my NA7 and N9 SAB antenna in this bag. Even gives them to you in these cool drawstring bags,
like this one.
That's it.
Twinsies.
We're twins. We're twins. Well, the truth of the matter is, was it when we're making our way back from Huntsville, we stopped at or we spent the night at that campsite in that state park in Tennessee. Separate campsites. Just don't want to throw anything out there, but
Sure.
Same campsite.
I mean,
well, I was using my N9 SAB off-center dipole, and it worked fantastic. And Greg said, that thing's pretty cool. Where do I get one? And I point him the way.
No, we did use that one, but it was when we were at the what was it? The what's the park from Minnesota and Wisconsin?
Oh, Interstate Park?
Interstate. That's when I first used it. And It was the 2040 link dipole that I like. That's the one I end up buying.
Sure. Yep. All right. So yeah, hang on a second. Let me go grab something. You guys keep talking about rails. Derek, do you have anything about rails?
The only thing I've gotten is I actually have a 3D printed cage around my 705, and it really hasn't gotten out of the case too much yet this year to really test it or testify to it.
Did you make it or did somebody?
No,
send
it was actually one I got from TO. It was the one that everybody kept winning, that they didn't have a 705, so they kept giving it away.
Good deal.
No, I almost feel guilty. I don't take that radio out enough now. Ever since I got my 891 and my ATOS, it's just quick and easy.
Yeah, and 100 watts.
Right.
Sorry about that. There's a commotion in the garage. It was the quail, so I had to go see, make sure everything's all right. I just had my third hatch of quail that wrapped up yesterday, so there's a ruckus in the brooder, and I had to make sure that they weren't all going to die.
A ruckus and a what? Rooter?
Brooder, yeah.
It's a lot of R's.
Yeah, and I'm not good at saying stuff.
Fluffernugan.
And this is why I invite a bunch of people on so they can cover me. So, are we good with rails?
Yep.
All
What
right.
rails? What are rails? We're off the rail.
We don't even bring rails to this thing. Well, I guess this time we did. And then related to rails are cages. This cage here I have on my Yaesu, was it FTM 300? And as you can see, a cage is very similar to the rail. They extend out past the front and back of the rail, or of the radio, to add protection for your knobs and connectors. But they also wrap around, so that's kind of the distinguishing thing. This one is from a company called Armalock. I put their website in the description below. Again, they make rails like this for many makes and models. The cool thing about this is you can see there's a bunch of crap on the top. You can get just the rail, and the idea of the rail is it's good for putting into a backpack like you see here. But with this one, this company, their premise is to set things up to be kind of a man pack, like an old school military radio thing where everything stays in the pack dedicated to it. And to do that, as you can see in the upper left-hand corner of the picture, you have the connector for your antenna has been repositioned there with a short jumper cable that wraps around, and also the power cables coming up. And I got some other things like a digital interface and a jack for the speakers. So this radio I have set up, if you're not familiar, the Yaesu FTM 300 is a UHF, VHF, or dual band antenna that used for local communications, repeaters, and everything. And I have this one set up. It is right behind me on my ham bench that's on the desk behind me under the red light. That's my shack 2-meter rig for the most part, but I'll also take that out in the field for different occasions. One thing I use it a lot for is special events. I volunteered once in a while to do communications for a cross-country ski race in the area, so this goes with me, so give me a little more oomph than a handheld and all that kind of fun stuff. This fits perfectly into the little sling pack I got there from Maxpedition, which is my second favorite nylon web gear company. I see people have setups like this for other rigs, like the Shack in the Box style rig, which we did a live stream on before, like the Yaesu 857, the ICOM 705, and others. So this is a good option too. Again, now you're getting to the point where you're adding a little more bulk and a little more heft to it, but you're getting a lot more functionality with being able to use your radio without taking it out of the pack altogether. And so again, back to the point that Tom Tango Oscar Mike made about hard packs, the pros and the cons of different options. So that's one thing to consider. Somebody else say something. Greg, I know that when we're at Huntsville for the Hamfest, we stopped at the Armor Lock booth. What did you think of them?
Yeah, I like it. I don't have a need for it, but I'll eventually do one. It's just not in the budget right now. I did see on, one of the YouTubers guys, they have that battery pack now that connects to the bottom. That's really cool. And they started 3D printing them, so it's a little bit cheaper now. Mm-hmm. And if it's protected in your pack, that's going to be pretty good. So might be something you're interested in. I know you like those.
Yeah,
the battery pack, but the price on them was a little steep. So it looks like they found a cheaper way to do it.
Yeah, that got my attention when we were there because, as you saw in the previous slide, I do have the 705, and I saw that set up, and I'm like, dang, that's going to cost me a lot of money. And I've been responsible adult, and I haven't bought it because I really don't need it. But you know how it goes with this ham radio gear and stuff is you make up reasons for stuff that you don't need. We all do that. And speaking of stuff I don't need shit from Kyle. Kyle's making another inside joke here from Huntsville Handfest. This is a funny story, very sidetracked, but last August I made it down to the Huntsville Handfest. I've gotten to know Kyle quite well over the years on ham radio YouTube and then also on camping YouTube, Discords and everything else, live streams. And I finally got the chance to hang out with them in person at Huntsville with a ton of other people, which was a lot of fun. One of the mornings, everyone started to stir around and walk around the other campsites, and Kyle wandered by my campsite right when I was going to cook breakfast for the first morning there. It was Saturday morning. And I just got, I might as well just embiggen myself for this story. I got myself, the Scatas, or I can't remember what else they're called, but it's basically they call them a cowboy walk. Yep, a cowboy walk, scuttle or something like that. Basically, it's a disc plow that somebody has plugged a hole in the bottom of it and polished up, and you use it as a frying pan. You set up on a propane burner. What I have, mine is just on a tripod propane burner, like you have underneath your turkey cooker type things. So this is like the first time I use this thing, and I'm using it with Greg and his brothers are there and someone else is over there, and I'm just trying to figure this thing out, and I'm frying up bacon. It's working perfectly because the idea of the thing is it's 20 some inches in diameter, and all the heat's concentrated in the middle. It's like a giant wok / cast iron grill. So you do your heavy frying in the center, and you push everything off to the side, and it works as a warmer. So I got the bacon fried and everything's pushed off to the side. Kyle comes by. He's like, "Oh, what you doing?" He's interested in that thing, so he's checking it out. And I'm telling him, there's like 4 of us here. I'm cooking enough food for 8. You want to hang out for breakfast with us? He's like, "Well, yeah, I think I might." And either I forgot to turn down the heat or I didn't turn on the heat enough, but the center of that thing was probably about 1,200 degrees. And I cracked the first egg, I put it down, and it literally vaporized. And Kyle's eyes got about this big, and he just goes, "I gotta go," and he runs off. So yes, Jason, we're talking about my now infamous vaporized eggs at Huntsville Handfest. So
yeah, I never knew eggs could instantly burst into flames.
And they did too. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. It just I've never seen an egg do that before. And I've never seen. I didn't think Kyle could move that fast because he was out of there. He didn't want to be anywhere near us. I think we just. You can just see the anxiety start throwing through his veins just by the expression on his face. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not going to be here anymore. And he literally just goes, I gotta go, and he just runs. And it's a memory that'll stick with me for the rest of my life.
He's like, they're drinking beers for breakfast and doing this. I'm out of here. They're up to no good.
Oh, all right. So we're not doing too bad for getting off the rails. How about cages? Anyone got anything else to say? Greg likes them. I like them.
Yeah, no, while you're gone, Derek was talking that he didn't have any rails, but he does have a cage for one of his rigs.
And Kyle's really not exaggerating either.
It didn't even make it there, huh? It just
it turned up in it. It was like Sputnik re-entering the atmosphere. It just kind of
yeah, you put it on at the wrong angle.
There you go. If only there was somebody that worked with NASA that could help us out on figuring stuff out like that.
Yeah, who knows?
All right.
Let's blow the doors off this thing.
All right. Now our two hard cases. And it's Tango Oscar Mike brought up earlier how he moved away from them. Hard cases are a popular option. This is your economy model. This is a Harbor Freight knockoff of the Pelican case. It's called Apache. True story, back when I worked in the defense industry, we built a lot of kits for the Army, mostly for their aviation people, like the real cool guys, like the 160th Soars, making custom maintenance kits that are field portable for their helicopters. And everything went into a Pelican case, and we laser cut the foam inserts for everything, and they're cooler than cool. And I thought Pelican cases were the best because that's the only thing I saw, and there's good reason to say that they are the best. Then I started hearing about these Apache cases from Harbor Freight, and I just kind of went, whatever, cheap Chinese knockoff. They ain't any good. There's no way I would spend literally $30 for that thing versus the $100 and some for a similar sized Pelican. Again, in my adventures of hanging around with Greg Miller down there, he showed me his 706 that he had in a Pelican case, and I got my hands on one, and I thought, okay, these things are very, very good. The biggest difference between the Pelican case and the Harbor Freight is the Harbor Freight has a manual twist out air vent, where the Pelican has an automatic one, which 99.9999 to infinity of us will never use. Hey, thanks for joining us, Black Cat. It was great for you to meet you. I'm glad you found us, and you have a good night.
Yep, 73.
And he left before we went really crazy, so he just might. But anyway, these Apache cases, for the dollar, you can't go wrong with. They work really well. As you can see on this one, I got set up for my ICOM 706. It fits in there. If you lift this radio out, underneath I have a smaller compartment or a smaller pick out where I have the mic cable and some other stuff. And here you see I have sitting on top of the battery, I have the power cables, and also the battery is routed through a USB connector. Anyway, I'm not going to go through this in detail. I should make a standalone video on that. But basically, you can pack a lot of stuff into a hard case like this. Another option for the hard case, Sam, you might be able to contest would be for a lot of people in the music industry use them, IT uses them, but the rack cases where you can set up like your sound and lighting control stuff for stage shows and everything in that you can pull out. I don't have an example of that, but those are another great option. I know a couple people that have their home shack radio where it's like a 7300 or what have you that are in them with a power supply, their tuner and all whatnot. And if they want to go out in the field, they literally just unplug it from the wall and bring it out. And Sam, let me embiggen you because you got it showing right there. You want to talk about that for a second? Because I can't remember the names of this stuff.
He's muted, so maybe he's having some issues.
All right. Well, give me the high five when you want to come back, or if you'd like to come back to talk about that, Sam. But more about this. This is a pretty popular item. This one I got set up again for my 706. Sam must be having technical difficulties because he just popped out. I'm sure he'll pop back in. And I got kind of a little go bag set up here where I have, like I was saying, I got the power supply, the radio, and the other item that's in there is a solar charge control, so I can hook this up to solar or another thing. This thing kind of lives in my camper now, so when I go on a camping trip or what have you, I have a radio with me. Don't have to worry about it. This is a great setup for rigs like that where again, if you're a guy that does goes out for field day once or twice a year, maybe a parks on the air here and there, you have this rig set up, all your gear is in one spot. You don't have to search for stuff. And it's a nice storable thing. You put this in a shelf in the closet and forget about it. When field day comes, you just grab it and go. Very convenient, very, very protected.
You probably get the most protection out of this, and with the Apache cases at the cheapest price for the most protection, and the most weight too. So
yeah,
if you're just traveling with it and you're not packing it around for long periods of time, they're the best.
Yep, and that brings back to the comment that our friend Tom from Tango Oscar Mike's YouTube channel, which if you haven't checked out, you need to. He's very similar to me in styles where he likes to hike out a little ways and do a parks on the air as part of a hike.
Yeah, and this is not for that.
This is not a good option for that because you got a lot of extra weight and a lot of extra bulk. Even if you're the guy that just goes to the park and operates off the nearest picnic table, if you do that once a week, twice a week, every other day, this becomes a pain in the butt just to be carrying along all the time. Even though it offers a lot of protection, the more you use it, the less friendly it is, if that makes sense. Hey, Sam, you're back. How's your audio?
Audio's fine.
All right. You want to circle back and show us your rack behind you?
That's what screwed my camera up. But I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Well, we still got you.
All right? You hear me?
We can hear you. Take it away, Sam.
That is a rack mount. That's what he's talking about. You have side rails that have. Sorry, I can't get any closer, but there's screws on either side of this part that I mount. Like there's the power supply for my this road case. Here's a guitar tuner, and then I have a pull-out drawer for different cables and whatnot.
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen the pull-out drawer before. That's cool.
Yeah. They make them in all different sizes.
Sure.
Okay, we're good. So it's that they make it to where you can even get it like a big rack set up to where you can have like a hanging file drawer,
Sure.
which I think this is a 2D or 2U size drawer. So you can get it, go up from there.
Okay. Yeah. That's a pretty cool option. And wow, you flipped out. There you are. That's a pretty cool option. And that's ideal for, again, the people that have a nice setup at home and they want to do field day and an occasional parks on the air, or be prepared for severe weather or Aries or something like that, where you're not going out all the time.
Exactly.
It offers great protection for your rig at home. It keeps everything in a nice, tidy package, and it saves you money in the long run. Where, again, if you do field day and that's it, you don't have to get another radio. You don't have to get another tuner or anything else. All the stuff is in one spot. And if your emergency comms thing is literally unplug and go and plug back in, you're not scurrying around the house looking for adapters or coax or splitters or anything. You literally just unplug it from your wall and throw it in your car or truck and you sit up in the field. So that's definitely a good option for a lot of people.
Hold on one second. Let's see. Comments. There is a link.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow! Hang on. What the heck?
I don't know, but you're now me and you're spamming my feed.
Nice.
It's all good, bud.
Oh,
And,
that happens when I post a link on StreamYard. It shows up as you.
Yeah, that's right, because he's got admin rights in here. So
Mhm.
for everybody, if you ever get a mean comment from what looks like me in the streams, it's really Sam. He's the jerk, not me. I'm the nice guy. Honest, really. And Tango Oscar Mike, Tom, our friend. Again, if you're not familiar, if you're with his channel, you're missing out. I love his channel a lot. He does still have an Apache 5800 case that he uses for all kinds of gear on road trips. And that's kind of like what I was showing you through my little slideshow. That's all my stuff. I'm not a fan of one thing and one thing only. I like to have the right tool for the right application. And I'm really into the portable radio hobby, so I have a lot of tools. Probably more tools than I need because I'm also a gear junkie. But of all the options that we showed you, depending on what you're doing and your budget, not all of them are applicable. Some are downright silly and stupid, but some of them might be just what you want. And if you do a lot of stuff or different things, many of them, if not more, or even stuff that we didn't show, are applicable for you.
Yeah, I think that 5800's, if I'm not mistaken, that's the one with the luggage handle and the wheels, which you could really put a lot into that.
Yeah, I think so.
So here's my version of your case. So this is the Apache 4800, and so you would not want to lug this to any kind of POTA where you'd have to walk more than a quarter mile. It's heavy, it's huge, but
unless you're Adam,
Yeah.
K6
what this is good for
ARK.
is here I can hold my 7100. I can ICOM 7100. I can hold the head unit. I can hold the base unit. I can put an antenna tuner in. I have a spot for an antenna tuner, a spot for a a power supply, and all the room for a bunch of cables and my mic. So this is my grab to go if I'm like going to Greg's house and want to take, for travel, put this in the back of the truck. It's safe and secure. And also, if I go out on the boat and want to do marine mobile, I always put my radio in here, because getting on that little finger pier and handing any kind of radio over onto the boat, I can just imagine. I've dropped plenty of things into the water, handing it from the dock to the boat.
Sure.
And if I drop this in the water, it's going to be safe.
Yep.
And I can grab it. So anytime I take any radio gear to a boat, I put in one of these.
That's a good idea.
Just for that handoff. Because that 2-second handoff, and a lot of times I'm going by myself, so I'm really leaning over trying to get this into the cockpit, and I can just always imagine dropping it. So one of the first things I got when I started sailing.
That's a smart idea. Norm?
Nope, I've never fell off the boat
that you remember.
Yeah.
You did fall and break the ridge of your nose and bled out.
Oh yeah, that was inside the boat.
Yeah.
Oh. Another story. Norm falls down.
No, it's just I was sleeping on a small sailboat. It's only 25 foot, so when you move about in it, it really heels over quite a bit when it's just sitting at the dock. And I woke up in the middle of the night, had to use the bathroom, forgot where I was, just got out of bed, stood up, and the boat went, and then all of a sudden I went and just fell and cracked my head on the corner of the countertop.
Oh, that's well, sleeping in a
boat there. That just
sleeping in boats are dangerous. I remember
I was just sitting there in the dark, and I was like, "Oh, what's all this? Why am I so wet? Why is it so warm?" And then I finally found the light, and oh yeah, there's blood everywhere.
I remember many years ago, went up with my girlfriend at the time. It was just going to be a day trip to hang out at my parents' cabin up on, not on, but near Lake Superior. And of course, it started to get a little late, and they didn't have room at the cabin for us. We're going to stay the night. My sister and her family were up, so they took all the guest space. So my dad's like, "Well, why don't you two just go down and sleep in my boat?" Because my dad doesn't have a sailboat, but he has a power boat, fishing boat with a little covey in the front end. And it's small for Lake Superior, but the covey, when you put everything down and you make it into the bed, there's only like 3 feet above you. It's very small. And I remember, I'm glad she's out of my life because she'd get pissed off for me saying this. But I woke up in the middle of the night, and she's one that was a restless sleeper. She talked in her sleep and stuff, and she's having one of her dreams. And I wake up and I look over to my left, and she did like from pro wrestling, the Undertaker move where he just pops up at waist level and just, this whole top half just flips up. She did that in her sleep, but of course her head just went bam right into it. So she's just mumbling, and then all of a sudden she just does the bolt up, and she smacks her head, earth-shatteringly loud bang, and she wakes up screaming. And of course, I'm laughing my ass off because I saw the whole thing, and apparently it wasn't funny, but yeah. Had to be there, I guess. Sorry.
Was she hot?
Well, she dated me, so. So obviously she had issues, but yeah. Never mind.
So you were talking about going back to the radio transport. You mentioned camera cases.
Yes, I did.
So here's
Let me embiggen you.
all right. Give me a second. Go back. I'll switch cameras here. We'll see how this works.
As you can tell, we don't plan anything ahead, but
Yeah.
we're having fun. Oh, look at you get all fancy.
Yeah. So
I bet you
right
wish
now I
you did
actually
that
have my
earlier
camera
instead
in the
of trying to
camera
hold
case.
up that Pelican case.
But this is a cheap Amazon Basics camera case.
There you go.
So you can open it up, and here all these little dividers. It's all foam. It's really nicely padded. These can all be interchanged because they're just Velcro to the side here. And you can fit ham radio, an antenna tuner, digi-rig, whatever you need into one of these.
Oh, that's awesome. How much did that
And
run you?
And it's soft packed. And here you're good to go. This is a shoulder bag, so it's a little bit larger, but it'll hold an actual large size ham radio. But you can also get camera backpacks and such, and they have all those dividers. They have all those dividers still, and yeah, they work very well for transporting ham radio gear. If you want to have that nice foam protection.
Yeah, I never thought of Amazon Basics for how much did that run you? That's I'm gonna shoot out
$40,
like $30.
Yeah, I think I got it for 30. I looked today before the live stream and it was 40.
Yeah, $40. That ain't bad.
That's a good price.
That's a good investment.
Yeah, and that's a pretty large one, but you can get smaller ones, and like I said, they have whole backpacks with those dividers. So you can, instead of using the foam cutouts like in your Apache case, you can just use those little Velcro dividers and create your own custom designs.
So a pack that size, you can put something like obviously a 705, but like the G90, an 891. I'm just
I think you might be able to get 7300 in here. Let me measure it.
Norm just uses it for sandwiches, Pringles, and his Rambo thermos.
Yeah. Skittles.
Basically, it's 11 by 9. So you can get a pretty large radio in there.
Well, that'll work. Oh, Derek, you've been awfully damn quiet. You've been doing a fair bit of porta out in your area, with like in your side by side and stuff, haven't you?
I've done it out of the side by side a little bit. I probably need to do a little bit more.
Well, we all need to do a little bit more. But
yeah.
What do you use to carry? Or I'm gonna put you on the spot.
So
what do you bring out and what do you use?
So the 705 sitting in here. I got the orange case because I'm an idiot and I get the brightest color that I can, so I don't have to sit there and look for shit.
Hey, I'm the same kind of idiot
because I bought.
I forget.
I've got my tan one. So in the hard case, I've got the 705 with the 3D print cage on it.
Yeah, color thing going.
So, yeah. Other than it's the red. I'm a sucker for red. But I was gonna say you guys know why. Big red truck. But anyway, so no, I'm a hard case fan because I am a little bit rowdy with my stuff. Usually when I take these out, just like my 891 right now, my 891 is actually sitting right next to the tire of my side-by-side in my cargo trailer,
Oh,
ready
what
to
could
go
wrong
camping
with
this
that?
weekend. And that's what I was doing before I jumped in here, was I was getting my truck out and hooking onto that trailer so I can leave tomorrow night.
Right. Do me a favor, Derek.
Yeah.
Right after you leave this stream, go out there and get the 891 away from your tire.
It's in the case. It's strapped. The side-by-side strapped down. But no, I know, and here's the other thing. Like I got 2 small kids, and my wife. I know the value of my radio equipment. My wife sure as hell doesn't. So
Kids don't.
God forbid I kick the bucket early. One of you guys are going to get a hell of a deal. So no,
I'm sending your wife a text right now saying, I don't care what Derek says, that radio ain't worth more than $200.
And not a nickel more.
Not a nickel more.
But no, and that's the thing, is she's pretty supportive of. She obviously doesn't care to go with me, but she doesn't care that I have I call radio my dirty habit. But the thing is she doesn't consider the value of the equipment that I have in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so oftentimes she's not the most gentle, or if I have a bunch of coolers, like if I go hunting for 2 weeks, she doesn't think about it when she drains the water, and I've got water going all over the floor of my cargo trailer getting drained out of coolers. And so that, for me, that's why I opt for the hard case, and I can throw them around a little bit.
Yeah. And being in a cargo trailer, side by side, back of your truck, weight is not a consideration when it comes to this kind of stuff, because when you're talking in a vehicle or a cargo trailer, an extra pound doesn't mean squat. Where if you're going to be hiking up a mountain, ounces equals pounds, pounds equals pain. And even repetitively, if you're going just walking 100 yards through the park to set up on a place, it adds up. But if you're going to be mobile in a wheeled vehicle for most of your operations and stuff like that, and also when, like you said, the packing and the unpacking, especially with other people that don't realize how expensive the stuff is or just don't think about it, that extra weight pays dividends, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's a cheap insurance policy is all it is.
Yep.
So I'm actually hoping to play a little bit, because I had the ATOS and the 891 loaded up when I had my cargo trailer out 2 weeks ago, and I was going to get it out and go play, and then hit some new POTA spots that I had never done before. But a lightning storm had other plans for me.
Yep, that's the no-go for me. I didn't even go into protecting for the elements. That might be a subject for another stream. But if there's a little rain in the forecast, or even a lot of rain or snow or hot or cold, if I've been planning on doing 8 parks on the air or summits on the air, generally I'll do it, because I only have so much free time, and if I wait until the weather conditions are perfect, I'll always be waiting. But the one no-go is lightning. A little water on your stuff, it wipes off.
If I see a dark storm front,
you heat up later. You get struck by lightning, game over. So I don't F around with the lightning.
That's even climbing towers. That if we have dark clouds in the horizon, period, you're hitting the bottom of the tower about as fast as you can. Because if you get it and that storm starts getting within 10, 20 miles of you, it'll actually start building up charge in the tower. You can draw an arc off the tower.
Mm-hmm. And our friend Jason's with us, and he knows a thing or two about a thing or two.
Yeah, and those things have sat there for a hot minute. I haven't reloaded in a while.
I got a Mech 9000 in my garage that is just a dust collector as well.
Yeah, I used to be a frequent trap shooter, and that kind of went to the wayside with kiddos.
Yep. I used to be in 3 summer leagues at a time during the summer, plus doing the weekend hunter bird shoots and traveling shoots, and oh, Jason sounds like a skeet shooter to me. That looks like a skeet load to me, if I'm thinking. I love my red dot as well.
Here's here. This dates it. 1899 for the pound.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think this. Let me see here. This was my absolute favorite.
Oh.
Anyway,
All right.
not to get sidetracked.
Well, I'll do a little decoding for people that are wondering what the hell in the world Jason, Derek, and I are talking about. But to decipher this down here, 17 grain red dot, that's the powder. 17 grain is the amount. Powder is the type. 1 ounce, that's how much shots in the shot shell. And the number 9 is the size. Number 9 is one of the smaller size pellets that you're going to get for shotgun shells. If you think of the little BBs in there, it's very small. 1 ounce, that's how much by weight shots in there, and that's about as low as you get. So it's a very small amount of pellets that are going out. Red dot is one of your hotter burning powders, so you'll get a lot of velocity really quick with not much going on. So something that's coming out of a shotgun that's really quick and really small and really light, that's really good. Using a lot of reallys there for very close in targets, and that's the game of skeet. You have very fast targets that are very close to you, so you try to hit them really quick with that shot.
Then you got the old slow burner.
Yep. Oh, we both got that. Yep. That would most likely be a 22 with the shot on it. Or it could be a pistol. It could be like a
Could be like the judge. Or,
yep.
And it could be those mini shotguns that aren't considered a shotgun. You know what I'm talking about? Because it doesn't qualify as a short-barreled rifle because it's its own firearm. So maybe
I know. Shockwave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yep. Yep. Jason also has the other one that we're thinking of.
Oh, the judge.
The judge. Yep, of course, judge.
See, and I got the governor.
Yeah, I was thinking governor, judge. Yep, the shockwave is pretty cool. I don't have a use for it, but just like, well, pick your poison, pick your hobby. Ham radio, backpacking, fishing, golf, firearms. you'll see a new item and you have absolutely no use for it. You know, a new radio, a new firearm, pick your poison. And you start seeing the reviews for them and the ads for them and the YouTube reviews, and you're like, I have absolutely no use for that. Well, let me think hard enough so I can make up a use for that.
Yeah.
I think we've all been there before.
Yeah, it's that little thought of
stream and
that'd be handy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the
If I
three
could get
people who
that-
are crazy enough to hang out with us for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We've all been there before where you're like, yeah, I have absolutely no use to that, but let me think about it. If I do this.
Yeah, well, okay, perfect example of this. And it's caused by a minor inconvenience, but it grinds my gears with it. So I have interior strip lights that are installed in my cargo trailer that kind of give opposing like shop light view. And to get them to come on, the way they wired them was you have to be, it's on the 12 volt, what is it? The one pin above 3 o'clock on my 7-pin trailer plug.
Hang on a second, Dirk. For anyone that has a green screen and they'd like to pretend that they're in Greg's shack, I'll just leave this here for a few seconds so you can take a screenshot and, maybe ridicule him in the future.
Perfect.
In fact, that's such a good idea. I'm going to do that right now. All right. Sorry, Derek, doubling me.
Oh, you're good. But anyway, so to get those lights to come on the interior of my trailer, my truck has to be running. Some trucks are 12 volt hot all the time, and some shut off with the key. Mine's one that shuts off with the key, and it pisses me off. So, circling back a little bit on topic, I'm going to get one of these, and I'm going to drill a 7-pin female in there and put a battery in there so that I can have a master switch and turn that on and supply my trailer so I don't have to sit there and run my truck. But I'm half thinking of doing some USB ports on it, putting a solar charge controller with it, and then maybe some of those little fold out panels so that I can keep it topped off.
Yeah.
And possibly, since it'll go with my cargo trailer and I usually throw my radio in there, I may even put a couple of power pole jacks on there so that I can use it as my power supply for my radio.
If you build that thing, let's have a live stream on that and that type of stuff.
That was, well, what we were talking about earlier in the week. That I was hoping to get it built by the time we have the next one roll around, if that's what you're going to do.
Sure.
So,
yeah, for sure.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, we could have a dedicated thing on that and other gadgets that are, kind of adjacent to the subject. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. And during your conversation or during your talk there, I had another thing that I was going to bring up. Now it instantly went out of my head, which is the way it goes with my head. Ah, crap. What was it? Oh, trailer plugs and stuff. Let me tell you a little story about my commute to work this week where I ended up calling the cops on a guy.
Oh, Lord.
Now, I don't want to ruin somebody's day. Oh, Derek had to duck out.
Yeah.
It wasn't
He
Derek.
didn't know you were a narc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally, it's like whatever, and I'll get into it. On my way, my commute to work, I go down a large tract of it is just 2-lane highway, rural Wisconsin State Highway. Greg, you've seen them. And a few county roads. Then I hop onto a larger highway that's 4 lanes, right? And as I make my way down a county road merging onto the 4-lane highway, I get behind this vehicle that's pulling a boat, and a big boat. I mean, it's inboard, outboard. You can't see the towing vehicle from the boat. It's a cabin cruiser. It's probably like a 22-foot boat, right? Big. And as I get up behind it, we pull in off the county road into the small town. There ain't no brake lights. And we get up to the stop sign where you turn onto the highway. There ain't no turn signal. And I'm like, Following him, we're going down, and we're on a state highway that's a 2-lane, and then it turns into a 4-lane as we pull into the town where I work. Following it, yeah, there's no lights at all. So I'm like, this is not good. And it's funny because, Shane from 20, 30 years ago would say, hey, this dipshit doesn't have any lights on. I'm going to pass this fucker as fast as I can so I don't get into an accident. But older, more mature Shane says, hey, I know what's going on. I'm going to stay behind him so nobody else gets in an accident. And then when it gets to 4 lanes, hopefully I get beside him and I can tell him, So I'm all grown up now. It was luck by chance. There was pretty light traffic. We come up to where it's an intersection of 2 highways. There's a stoplight. I get side by side. I roll down my window. I politely tap my horn to get his attention. He rolls it down, and I go, hey, buddy, just so you know, your taillights aren't working. And this is when I realized he's got like a late model Ford Explorer, which I think is barely enough to pull this thing. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird. And he goes, get ready. He goes, yeah, I know. My truck has a 4-pin connector and the trailer has a 7-pin. So what do I do?
Shit.
That's the face and exactly what I said. I'm like, dude, you got to get off this highway. You're going to cause an accident. And he goes, yeah, whatever. And he rolls up his window. And I'm like, all right. I'm calling 911. Now, if I pulled up or first off, if it was like a turn signal wasn't working or something was intermittent, and he goes, yeah, I know, I got to fix that. Thanks. I would have been like, well, it's all right. But he has no lights at all. You can't see his vehicle, so you can't see the lights from his at all. And he knowingly goes, yeah, it doesn't work. I don't give a shit. And I'm going to pull this giant boat with an undersized vehicle down a freaking highway. I'm like, dude, you're going to kill somebody.
Oh, all right. So you jogged my memory.
Yep.
So one of the last times I had to run down to southern Utah, I was headed down. I was headed down I-15, and I'm right between Fillmore and Beaver. And yes, those are towns. Look them up, and they are consecutive in Utah. They took the Fillmore Beaver signs down. But anyway, so I'm down in this area, and there's a guy with a 3/4-ton truck, and he's hauling a triple axle fifth wheel down the interstate headed south. And I'm like, what in the hell? Like, you can smell burnt, like hot, almost ready to catch on fire rubber.
Yep.
And you can see all this shit flying off of his truck. And I'm like, what in the hell is he doing? And I'm sitting there looking, and I get up behind him, and you can just see a shower of sparks coming off the back of this thing. And so I get up beside it, and you can hear the screaming and screeching. He blew his back trailer axle tire on the driver's side. And I'm sitting there going, okay, how in the hell can you not hear this? And so I get up beside him, and just like you, my initial thought, though, because I'm not all the way grown up, was, I'm getting around this dipshit because I got shit to do.
Yeah.
And so then I thought, I got headed up past him. I'm like, nah, this dude's already destroyed his rim. He's gonna lose his wheel bearing next. So I'll at least try and flag him and tell him. I sat next to that guy for 10 miles, honking my damn horn at him. Never looked over one time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an older guy, and he's just sitting there, just do.
Oh, he didn't hear nothing. Yeah.
No, and I'm just going, well,
Yeah.
See ya.
Godspeed, little doodle.
I never seen the wreck highlights on the news, so I'm assuming he got stopped.
Yeah, but it was, like I said, I don't want to ruin somebody's day by calling the cops on him, but I think I prevented him from ruining his day worse by getting in an accident. So, I called 911. Dispatcher picks up, and God bless the dispatchers. Those guys are amazing guys and gals. But he's like, "What? 911? What's your emergency?" I'm like, "I don't really know if this is an emergency. I'm sorry if I'm bothering you, but I'm at this intersection. I just went around this undersized SUV pulling a big boat, and it doesn't have any lights. I got the driver's attention. I told him he doesn't have lights. He told me he knows because he doesn't have the right plug for the trailer on his truck. And you hear the dispatcher just go, "Oh, yeah, we got to get this guy off the road." He's like, "Where?" So it's funny because it's a pretty small town. But it's a big town from my standards. It's about 8,000 people, the town I work in. So they have a fairly decent sized cop shop, and they always have people on duty. And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yep, I'll get him on." He's like, "Where are you at?" And he says, "How far are you away from the road that the cop shop's on?" And I told him, "Dude, I work right next to it. I'm right around the corner. I'm at this intersection." And I just give him like the play-by-play, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll have a squad that's waiting for him at the intersection of that highway and that road." And I'm driving up like, "Yep." And at this time, I passed the guy and got ahead of him. And I'm like, "Yep, I see the squad car. I'm flashing my lights." And then nothing. The dispatcher goes, "Yep, affirmative." They see the thing and they pull out there and they nab the guy. And I kept on driving. And at this point, I'm already past my turn for work, so I had to go down the highway out of town and then turn around like a mile out and come back. And at this time, I'm thinking, Midwest nice, like, should I have really done that? Did I really want to give that guy that much trouble and stuff? And as I'm coming back, and this is like 3 minutes later, apparently the guy was giving the cop some attitude because the cop was just shaking his fucking finger at the guy, and he was not happy. They're like, "Nope, I did the right thing." Cop's pissed. If the cop's pissed, you know that the guy needed to get off the road. So, yeah.
We can't feel too bad. It's not like you called in a noise complaint.
Yeah. Still going, Mike. We haven't even started yet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been watching earlier, but we gave you a plug at the beginning, I do believe. I know I said your name. So, but yeah, we're pretty much out of gas, but we're still just gabbing on. I'm not tired. I can keep going.
I give it about 21 minutes.
Yeah, these guys know from chatting on Discord and Zoom and other places that usually about 5 minutes till 9 o'clock Central, I'll start yawning, and everybody goes, "Well, we know Shane's out of here." So I'm an old man. What can I say?
Yeah, I'm about to write here, and then once I get to here, that's about. I don't know how long that's gonna be, but
Oh, well, I'm out of beverages, but I should go grab one. So why don't you talk amongst yourselves for 3 minutes?
all right.
All right, you talked me into it. I'll have a beer with you.
Mm-hmm. What's our next topic?
Yeah, the border.
Yeah. Where's here on Supervised?
Oh boy. I'm not wrangling y'all two. Y'all are on your own.
Watch Derek. He's gonna come back with like a bush apple or whatever is peach or whatever.
Whoosh.
Those better come back this summer.
Which one?
The peach.
Oh, I've seen a lot of the apple, not the peach.
God damn it.
You can't cuss on the internet.
Oh, that's even better.
All right. Got one more dram of whiskey and took a quick bottle break because I'm an old man and 2 hours is my limit.
So what I always wonder, what's an actual dram? And does it vary?
I'm guessing it's an actual weight, but for me it varies because I just use it as a term. Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that a beer.
I didn't have any beer. It's all up north at the camper.
Oh, I think
if
I
you
had
don't
one
buy
of
that
those.
shit, you gotta card them.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I bought this shit up there and brought it home.
Yes, that's the beer the young kids are drinking these days.
I bought a sampler pack of that.
Turn some wrap on.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think that was that on the Iowa trip? No, that was when I went down to Arkansas on a road trip. Yeah, because I went to my cousin's wedding in Iowa, and then I went down to Arkansas for work, and I just made it all a road trip because work would pay for the travel. So I got parks on the air in Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, and Illinois. Long story short, that's right when that Hard Mountain Dew came out. So I bought, I think it was like in Illinois, I bought a sampler pack of that. And oh,
It's dangerous shit.
Not for me. Ooh, we got a drink update from Mike. Ruby Red Cloche. Great. Ooh, that sounds interesting.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb since we're on beers.
Yep.
So anybody that watches football, so the Kelsey brothers invested into a beer company called Garage Beers.
Ooh.
Yeah,
And
I've seen that at my liquor store.
And so I'm like, okay, I'll try one. So I got one of the big Road Warriors of the lime. It's just a lager, but it was a lime one. That'll be the last one I buy.
I thought garage beer was just a Midwest term.
Yeah, like it's this brand I saw. I didn't know who owned it or whatever, but it just said it was like a 3.5% light beer, something like that. It wasn't flavored or anything, but I didn't try it because
just a garage beer. I thought that was a Midwest thing because that's what we have. We have the garage beer, which is the community beer for your neighbors and stuff. And
yeah, you go. We do it here too.
During the day when you don't want to get effed up, so it's like 3.2 or 3.5 or whatever. Just like your Coors Light, your Busch Light, that type of stuff. But then you have your house beer, which is your nicer stuff, like any craft beer or something like that. Then when I get fancy, then you have your dinner beer. That'd be like your stouts and stuff like that, where you have one or two and you're full. So a little Midwest lingo. Well, did you notice my shirt? Speaking of Midwest.
Yeah, I was wondering what it was. Yeah, USS Wisconsin.
Yep. It's wrong side. Jeez. Fat Electrician. He did a video on this. It's an old story. Hey Douglas, welcome back. But one of my favorite things is I love history. I love naval history, and World War II. The Iowa class battleships are obviously a favorite because they're like the last battleships built, the biggest, the fastest, and of course one of them is Wisconsin. But the temper thing, after World War II in Korea, Wisconsin was deployed to Korea to do shore bombardment. And what it would do is it would go out at night with a destroyer escort and it just kind of hug the shoreline, and then they would bombard uh, ports, railroad tracks, that kind of stuff. Just kind of hunter prowler type things. And while it was going, there was a little artillery, like field artillery embankment on the shore of North Korea, like 105 millimeter howitzer type stuff, right? It fired a couple of pop shots at Wisconsin. It fired 4 shots. 3 of them hit the water. 1 hit the ship, but it did pretty minor damage. It hit the superstructure. It splintered the deck. It didn't kill a sailor, but it did, it was basically a scratch, right? Wisconsin turned all 3 of its triple 16 gun turrets at it and fired a full salvo of 9 16-inch rounds at that field cannon. So it launched 9 2,000-pound projectiles at once at that thing and just obliterated it, And it just started going, and that destroyer escort, they're under radio silence, so they just give the old school light Morse code flashes, and they flash temper.
That's a pretty cool story.
Yep. Oh, and Mike's seen the hard Mountain Dew out there, but hasn't tried it. What do you think, Derek? You're the one that's drinking it. Should Mike go out and try it?
Realistically, you'd get further ahead with a Busch Light.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it wasn't terrible, but like I said, I bought the lime because I just wanted a lime beer because it was hot that day, and didn't taste like lime at all, and it was about the equivalent of drinking a Busch.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's a Mountain Dew, you would expect it to be like 12% or something like that, but it's not.
Yeah.
So, not worth it to me.
Although I like Baja Blast just because I like Baja Blast. I mean, I'm one of those guys that will about once a month make a run to Taco Bell, even though I don't want Taco Bell, just to get Baja Blast.
Yeah, I've had the Baja Blasts Mountain Dew like he's got and the regular. And the Baja Blast actually tasted like the real drink.
Jason, I love it. That shore batteries pronouns became was, were. Oh.
I didn't know if I wanted to go there.
Oh,
but it was circling through my mind.
I've already dropped the F-bomb at least once, and we're
still PG-13, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can go R.
Yeah, I mean F-bomb and we can show a tit and we're still PG-13.
Go, Sam.
Oh. I was just waiting for the little view counter on there.
We need the music. The va va boom music.
All right, welcome to Happy Hour.
But I don't mind. in all reality, as far as Mountain Dew,
Yeah.
I don't mind these. They're 0 sugar, so that's a plus for me because I'm trying to stay away from it. But I only bought I bought the small pack of these, so that way I don't get in trouble because they taste like a nasty hangover.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's like what you Miller boys called the Smash'ems.
Yep. Oh Lord, that's hilarious.
Well, we still got 9,000 people in watching now in the stadium.
Yeah. Well, somebody came back. I think somebody tuned away when Sam started the music.
Yeah, now we're up to 10,000 people watching.
I think they went away because they were looking for Sam's OnlyFans.
It's there somewhere.
You can shit through a screen door and not get it dirty. Oh. So Norm, Greg, sorry, wrong Miller. You're drinking the Silver Bullet there?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't venture off too much anymore.
Counting carbs.
I'll do, yeah. It's High Life Light, Coors Light. It's about it. Or Busch Light sometimes.
I still gotta get you.
Yeah, next time we're together, you're bringing those.
Of course.
Unfortunately, you mentioned on Twitter that you're not going to make it to Huntsville this year.
No, it's just
that's a haul.
It's a haul for me. It's it's 12 hours for me just to get to Greg's place, and it's another what 7 hours.
It's another 5 without stops.
Yeah,
but
so it's
and then you're pulling that trailer, so you're going a little slower, so it just takes longer.
Yeah, it's a fun time. I had a blast down there, and I will go down there again, Norm, and anyone else that gives a shit. Huntsville was a blast. It was fun. I just love the campground, and everybody's hanging around and having a good time. Obviously my friends here, the YouTubers, the people in the chat, and then just regular hams there and campers there. It was like there's all on one level, there's no egos, there's no nothing. Everybody just hangs around. It was so much fun. So many jokes, so much just kicking back, BSing like this around campfires. Thank you, Frequency Frontiers. Yeah, I won't make it this year. But I'm going to try to make it like ideally in every other year, or at least every couple of years. I'll be down there again. If not next year, definitely the year after, but I'm going to try to get down there next year. Kind of do it every other year.
We need a Shane Goes West tour.
Shane does need a Shane Goes West tour because West is a lot of fun. But yeah, where you are, that's Shane Goes West for a very long time.
That's just Shane and his Tacoma with chaps on.
Boy, why do you always gotta bring it there, Greg? But I would be all for meeting. Oh, but Derek, you live in the part of country where it's a lot like Montana or Alaska, where if I go out there to visit, I might not come back. I know you don't have a problem with that, but
I stayed.
Yeah.
I'm 5 hours from Yellowstone.
Yep. Oh yeah, I love it out there. That'd be so cool. But yeah, speaking of Montana, one friend of mine, how did it go? A friend of mine's dad got divorced. He moved out there. One of his kids went out to visit him, never came back. Ended up staying just outside of Bozeman, Montana. His other kid went out to visit him. She never came back either. She stayed out there. And then a close friend of mine, she went out to visit the daughter, and she didn't come back. And all of them are like, "Hey, you gotta come out here and check this place out." And I'm like, "You guys are like in a cult or something. I don't dare." But maybe we could do. I think we were looking at Google Maps at one time. What isn't like the Dakotas, like the western edge of the Dakotas, halfway between us?
Yeah, pretty much.
So maybe we can do like some camp out, Poda soda extravaganza along that area, like Bismarck or something.
Let's do it.
I saw Greg doing the math in his head, and he's like,
Now,
I can do
now you
that.
got now you got me curious.
What we just need to do is get a van. Just all take turns driving, never stop.
Down by the river.
The Poda
Okay.
van.
So doing I got the mental map. What we need to do is Norm in the Houston area, he rents a U-Haul van, swings over to Alabama, picks up Sam, swings up to Indiana, picks up Greg, makes a hard.
This sounds like a scene off of Home Alone.
Yeah.
Where you end up in the back playing polka music.
Well, it's planes, trains, and automobile. That's where I was going.
Then we take the train up to Chicago.
Yeah.
meet
Yeah.
meet Shane there who drives down.
No, I'm envisioning planes, trains, and automobile. Or no, it's Home Alone. It was still
Yeah.
John Candy. That's what it's.
I'm alone too, lost in New York.
Yeah. I bet you're Norm driving and I'm in the back with Sam and his guitar and Greg's playing the accordion or something like that, and we're singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall. Yeah. Oh, Jason, you're right in my wheelhouse. That's right up his jail.
$15, little man. Put that shit in my hand.
Oh, and I sidetracked Douglas. He was probably looking up Wisconsin story.
Did they ever get Battleship Texas back out, or is it still Doc Norm?
It's not.
Oh, it's gonna be open to the public pretty soon if it's not already.
Yeah.
So they're finished work. Are they putting it back where it was?
No, it's gonna be down in Galveston.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Is when they moved it out for dry dock for repairs that they weren't going to go back where it was, and they were.
Yeah, because where it was kind of in the middle of nowhere, so it didn't get a lot of traffic. So they moved it down. They wanted to move it down to Galveston, but there was a lot of fights over where it would be docked. A lot of local political fights and stuff. So.
And Frequency Frontiers is right in our wheelhouse. The polka king of the Midwest, John Candy and Home Alone. I miss John Candy. He was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
What's weird if you think about it, he died when he was 43.
Wow.
He is younger than Greg.
Yeah. I just dawned on me that he was that old. Yeah, I grew up with him. He's one of those guys that never really aged because, like, when I first, or not when I first saw him, but when I look back on YouTube when he's on, was it SCTV, the Canadian Skit Comedy thing, until the very end, he's like the same age. He just didn't age. He
was always like 40.
Yeah. Yeah, when he was 20, he looked like he was 40. And then when he just never changed. 100%, Mike. He was great. Oh, The Great Outdoors. I don't think you can do a better movie than that. Oh, he was hilarious in that. And the movies where he had small parts too, like the original Blues Brothers, where he was that detective. He was just hilarious as that. I think he had a heart attack while he was on set.
I think it's the Wagons East.
Week as this, yeah. I think he died. Yeah, Canadian Bacon. That was a great one.
Yeah, that was one of his last ones. That was good.
Uncle Buck was a good one. Yeah, Great Outdoors. That's one of the movies I got on DVD. Oh,
Cool Runnings was a big one when I was in about 6th grade.
Yep.
That was big time.
There's our age difference. I was in high school.
Yeah, I was 6th grade, but dating a high schooler. You know what I mean?
What was his name?
Yeah. He would drive me to the theater.
Yeah.
Buy me a bag of popcorn.
He bought me
burritos. He's always telling me to reach for the bottom of the bucket. I don't know why. I just eat it off the top. I don't need to put my hand all the way down there.
Oh Lord.
Well, it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's
we made it
2 Central. I'm not even yarning yet, so pretty good for me. It looks like we kept about 9 people entertained to this point. So
yeah. And 6 of that is us. The other 2 is Douglas and Jason. I guess Mike too.
All right, I'm not the oldest one here. Thank you, Jason. You're probably 2 or 3 years older than me, but I'll take it. Oh. I didn't catch the last part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thinks he's funny.
I think he's funny too. Oh Lord. Well, we have fun. Who has more fun than people?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we covered lots of options for protecting your radio equipment in the field. Our taste in alcoholic beverages, our appreciation for John Candy, boats,
dangers of dating older guys.
Yep. Danger of dating older guys. A little shotgun shell reloading stuff. How I need to get back into doing CW with our friend Ed, who joined us. And right there is why I like Mike so much and we get along so great. We are the way it is. Freedom launchers, yes. Shotgun shells are freedom launchers. And I can't argue with Greg. A little familiarity bias, but yes, Gen X rules. kind of like John Candy. We look like we're 40 when we're 20, and we still like 40 when we're old, and we're just don't give a shit. I don't know. I think I'm running out of gas.
God, this has got me sitting here thinking. Sam, you turned 40, haven't you?
Yeah. I'll be 41 here in this month.
Oh, good God.
8 days.
You're the youngster, Derek.
Dude, I'm the last one in here in my 30s.
Oh,
When we met you, you were like 25.
It seemed like it, didn't it?
Right?
and I'm the oldest, right? Norm,
Mhm.
how old are you?
So.
45.
Oh yeah, I'm the oldest by 5 years. I'll be 51 in August, so there you go. If anyone wants any ideas for birthday presents, just shoot me a DM and I'll let you know.
Yeah. I'll
Dick
put it in my
chips.
calendar.
No, Norm's sending you a broken bottle of whiskey.
Yeah. I'll just no, I'm putting it in a
You break one unopened bottle of whiskey and no one lets you forget it.
I'll just tape it together inside a grocery sack with no padding and just send it through the US mail.
Oh, I thought you were going to say FedEx.
Either or.
And Douglas did the maths. Who says you can't math on a live stream? Douglas did.
Yeah, I don't know why he's Scout75 and not 74, but
Yeah. Super weird.
he's trying to look younger.
Good point. At this point, I don't get to choose. I just be thankful I lived for another birthday. I've already outlived some family members and friends, so there we go. Well, that's kind of depressing. I should change the subject so we can't end on that.
Yeah. We're all dying.
There we go. Douglas saves the day. Bearded men are the most handsome. Right, Norman, Derek?
I don't know about
I would have, but work makes me shave.
Oh,
Right.
Because I did have, and you guys knew when I had the full beard.
yeah. Because we made fun of you because you had such a baby face when you got rid of it.
I got in trouble.
And then the mustache was going on for a while.
Yeah.
You're trying
to turn Greg on and it was weird.
I had a hell of a farva going.
Yeah. What the hell? We're just rambling on about nothing, and we gained a few viewers. Greg,
I'd show you a picture of it, except I know Norm would be a bastard and screenshot
it. That's what we do around here.
Well,
on that note,
you can't bring it up and not do it. That's
I can hear Norm prepping.
Let's get the clicky keyboard out.
Control Shift 4.
Exactly, Douglas. Exactly.
We actually had a topic.
We have more fun. And we don't make your brain hurt with math.
No. All right, Derek, we're all we're waiting.
Wait.
Do that again.
Nope.
Come on.
This is a one and done affair.
You just have to replay the video back on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's why I never really let it focus either.
Oh. Come on. Look.
So,
Captain Mike Picard's asking.
yeah.
Enhance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No,
Doug challenge us to
you.
math.
So the last 2 months we've been on kind of a overhaul project at work, and it's usually what I'll do is I'll end up since I get in trouble for a beard, I'll grow my protest mustache out so I look stupid until we're done. But it finished yesterday, so
There you go. All right. I'm starting to yawn. We're 10 minutes past my bedtime, and I'm starting to get brain man.
yeah, 4 o'clock's gonna come
Can's
early.
empty.
Yep. My whiskey glass is empty. I'm starting to get the tism. So let's go around the horn as I see him. Sam, what's up? What are you up to? We should have brought up earlier. I heard you got a smoker that has Bluetooth.
Yeah. No, it's Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I can sit right here.
Hey, I gotta set the record straight. I gotta put Douglas in his place. Not a bunch of old men. No, it's not a bunch of old men at all. There's one old man. That's me, and the rest of them are.
One old man, and then the baby's going to bed
Yeah.
at the same time.
This is what's going to happen. Is I'm going to shut down the stream in a few minutes. It'll be us on the back side thing in the StreamYard, BSing for a few seconds, and I'll say, well, boys, gotta go. Have a good night. And I'll log out. And either they'll stay there and talk for about 6 more hours, or they'll go to Zoom or Discord or someplace else and carry it on. So I will take your dig. I deserve it, but I gotta defend my friends. I'm only the old man. And I know you're just joking around, but I just had to make a little fun of it. Yep. Derek's just an old man in training.
No,
all right.
Derek's fat and goes to the gym early ass in the morning.
All right. Sorry. Talk about your smoker, because that intrigues me that you have Bluetooth on your smoker. So it lets you see the temps and everything, and you can probably set alarms if it gets too hot.
I don't know if all triggers have it, but there's the power switch in the back, and then in the front, the display, you got your thermostat, your temperature adjuster, and then it's got a probe for checking the internal. The app, you can set your temperature, set your internal temperature buzzer. You can adjust the heat up and down. And just shut it off. It takes it's a 15-minute shutdown timer because all the excess pellets have to burn off.
Okay.
Let's see. I cooked bacon on it tonight. We cooked Kaneka on it last night.
What?
Kaneka sausage.
Oh, okay.
I cooked bacon tonight, Kaneka last night, hamburgers. You could cook a pizza on it. And doing bacon wrapped chicken tomorrow night.
Oh, man. That sounds tasty.
Oh, yeah.
And I come back to this, but what if they have a Bluetooth bong? How would you work that? Would you let you know when your bong water gets too skanky and you gotta change it? maybe temp or something. That'd be, I don't know.
That's right.
I meant God bless, but
Oh, I have a few friends that to Douglas's comment. I have a few friends that had kids that were born in 1999, so they got a pretty good chance of hitting 3 centuries.
I'm not going to tell you how Mom got this house.
Norm, we'll skip Norm. So, Derek, how about you? What you up to? What do you got going on? What do you want to close out with?
Hoping to going camping tomorrow night.
Oh,
Well, let me rephrase that. I'm going glamping tomorrow night because I say camping, but it's parked at my dad's other house, sitting there plugged into 50 amp service in his side yard, and I'm 5 minutes away from a lake, so there's that. So I'm hoping to go play a little bit of radio sometime this weekend, at least once, maybe twice.
cool.
And do that. Hopefully gonna get the little power box build underway. I'll get that going. And then when we reconvene next month, hopefully I have a show and tell. I hope.
For sure.
But other than that, that's about it.
Sorry, I just gotta respond to a text here. I shouldn't be doing this on a live stream, but here we go.
What's his name?
All right. Yeah, I got, as far as camping, I haven't brought my teardrop out yet. This spring has been busy with me with getting the quail started and cleaning up the yard and starting a garden and all that stuff. But in about 2 weeks, I'm going to start being more with the old teardrop. I did it a few times last year where there's a state park that's 10 minutes from my work, and I'd go down there in the middle of the week. I'll tow the camper down for work and then spend the night like on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night at that campsite or that state park when nobody's around, and have it to myself and a little break in the weekend or the middle of the week and head on back. Quail, yes, for food. I'm raising Coturnix quail. I've got about 30 of them now. I've been eating their eggs. I got enough hens to keep me in eggs right now. The eggs are really good, by the way. They're about a third of the size of a chicken egg, but they're way more richer and they're more nutritious too. And then the roosters, I'm growing them out until they reach maturity, and then they're going to go to freezer camp, as we call it, and then eat them whenever. I've never had this Coturnix quail before, but I imagine it's the same as a bob white quail, which is native around here, or a grouse or partridge. So, yeah, yep, protein all around. I'm looking forward to it. Guinea fowl, they keep ticks away too. And the alarm system. Yeah, I looked into guinea fowl. I went with the Coturnix quail just because they're a little bit easier for me. Guinea fowl have the advantage that they're more domesticated than quails, so I can free range them a little bit, but the quail will take off. The quail in the Sonora Desert. I don't know if they're bob white down there, or if they're button quail. Derek, you're pondering that.
No, I knew this answer, and then it freaking evaded me.
I don't think it's bob white, and I don't think it's button, but there's a there.
And it's not a California. I know what it is. They're
Yeah, get to the house.
All right. Well, Gambro. Well, Greg, what about you? Before you sign off, what's up? Are you and your brother going to put anything on Shacking Off channel anytime soon?
If we are, we're not telling.
No,
subscribe, hit the bell, find
I don't
out.
have any plans, but
Mm-hmm.
just enjoy being on your show.
All right. Well, you're always fun to have on, my friend.
Yep. You guys have fun.
All right. See you guys.
Yep.
See you, Greg.
How about you, Norm? You want to sign off with anything, or you just want to head out?
No, I was heading off to. I was leaving the same time as Greg. Gotta
All
get
right.
to work tomorrow. Have fun, guys.
Yep.
Yep.
Take care. So that's about it. And I kind of said what I've been up to lately. I haven't done diddly squat with the YouTubes, but this monthly stream for a long time. I'm also streaming once a month on my other channel that's more on the camping and hiking and everyday carry kind of stuff. We're doing everyday carry kind of stuff, so I don't have a link, but I didn't think about it. But yeah, work's crazy, and trying to do the camping and the garden and the quail. That's been a big thing for me. Quails are a lot of fun. Well, I don't have time to do the YouTube channels I do now, but I should do one on quail. But all right, so that's all I got. I can't believe people hang around with us for.
All right.
We've been on for 2 hours and 20 minutes.
All right.
Some of you are bored. I'm glad I filled that boredness. Have a good night, folks.
Douglas wants the name of your other channel.
Oh, the Scout Life. All right. Let me. I should be good enough to be able to do this here.
Oh God.
I said I should be able to do this live. Well, hey, look at you.
I got you, buddy.
I saw. How the hell did I share this damn thing?
I got it.
Oh, you got it? All right, never mind.
That's what the
save.
producer's for.
All right. Sam's covering me. He's going to post a link. There you go. That's not really me. That's Sam, because he can do stuff. Thank you, Sam.
I'm a professional.
Behind the scenes producer.
I'm the man behind the curtain that.
Yep. Yeah, in case you don't know, Sam does a lot of behind the scenes work with our friend Greg on his YouTube channel.
Not the Greg that just left, but another Greg.
Yeah. Take it away, Sam.
Take it where?
Plug Greg's channel.
No. I do some same thing like I'm doing tonight, but on K6EGG out of Chino, California. He streams. He streams a lot. When he gets free time, so it's not.
Yeah, he doesn't really have a.
There's not a set schedule. It's just when he's not working.
Yep.
He'll throw a stream out.
Yeah.
And
he's not like every Friday at 8 o'clock or anything like that. He just kind of does it when he can. So
yeah, that's when it's good to have the notifications, the notification turned on so you can find out when he's live. You'll hear me, but you won't see me on his because we use a different program for pipe my audio in. But where's it going with this? So yeah, I do that, and then I help Shane out when I can.
Yep.
I've been missing the past few weeks, but here I am.
Yeah, it's no
And
problem.
Other than that, that's about it.
All right.
Son of a bitch.
I can't remember we started
Yeah,
with Derek. or
yeah,
we're gonna
Doug,
do
you're
it-
right.
I looked everywhere for this motherfucker last weekend. My fucking propane hose on my camper shit the bed.
Oh,
And I was pissing and moaning that I couldn't find it. And
there it is. Thank you, Douglas. I appreciate the sub. All right.
Well,
Can't remember
fellas,
if we started with Derek or if we we're going to end with him, but I guess we're going to end with him anyway. So you found your propane.
propane
don't forget
and
your
propane
propane
accessories.
accessories.
You found your propane accessories. So life is good.
Damn it, Bobby. Don't forget it.
Yeah, no shit.
All right, y'all.
right.
Y'all have a good one.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks everybody. Appreciate it. We'll do it again first Wednesday of next month. With a little luck, I'll post something on this channel before then. If not, it is what it is. Thanks all. You're all awesome. Thank you. Good night.
Night.
All right.